Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Clouser. It's literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side. I don't know why I use my hands so much, but enjoy this clip.
Stop it right now! We will stop this tournament! This is stupid! This is absolutely ridiculous! Get out of here! We will stop this tournament right now! We are adults, and this is ridiculous! It is a cornhole tournament fundraiser! Cut the crap!
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What is going on, everyone? How are you? Are you guys doing well? Well, what is up? So we are here on a new episode of The John Show with your host, me, John D. Clouser. Oh, there's a lot more tequila in that than I expected. And the thing is, I usually go, as soon as it starts, it has about like that much left of the ice. That's when I stop. And this ice cube was a little bit smaller than the other ones. And another thing is that I didn't know there was so much tequila still left in that bottle. I thought there wasn't that much left. Anyway, what is up? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Like I said, I'm doing swell. I am about 3 days out of my second Moderna shot for COVID-19. I guess, what is it? This is like day 3,000, like 125, I would say. It's somewhere around there. It's rough. We've been there. I think we've hit a year almost. But yeah, I took my second shot and my arm hurt pretty bad. It was so weird. Okay, so I was totally going into the second shot expecting, I'm like, okay. I took the first one. When I realized I was going to take the shot, I started getting myself really, really prepared for this whole situation. So that's where it all started. I was like, okay, John, like you need to get yourself ready for this because this is going to be a battle. And if you hear on, at least I did. I would hear on one side people were like, well, like getting the shots, you're a lot sicker than you are, when you don't get the shot, and if you just got COVID. Or there's other people that are like, well, like it's just a small price to pay that you have to feel like to just to get the shot, and and then other people say like, well, if you don't get the shot, then you're not going to be able to like travel outside the country because like it's going to be a mandatory thing if you have to have the shot. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So then my job that I work at right now offered it. I was like, you know what, John, just take the shot. It's weird, like you're gonna be a little worried. You're a little scared. It's okay. Like it's like you've never dealt with a pandemic. That's the thing is I keep telling myself. It's like, dude, you've never been in a pandemic. Everyone else that you're interacting with have never been in one either. So I don't think any of us really know the right move to make, other than just don't flat out lick like a lollipop after somebody, or don't drink after somebody, or don't like cough in someone's face, or don't like walk around without a mask. Little things like this. Do things that help you. And so, and that was kind of my mindset. I'm just like, okay, like, we're just gonna have to do that. I'm just gonna have to get this shot because like I have to continue all my life. Like, as far as I know of right now, like I have to keep on moving. I have to keep on doing stuff because things aren't going to end. The world's going to keep on moving. The earth is going to keep on moving. Sun's going to go up. Sun's going to go down, and all that stuff. So I have to do what I need to do so I can keep my days going. So I took the first shot. Felt fine. Like my arm was a little sore the next day. It didn't hurt that bad that night. I so crazy. Like I was dating a girl at that time, and so we had coitus, but fine, nothing there. I felt a little sick. It was about like a week and a half later for me, and because you take for the Moderna, you take one shot, and then 4 weeks later you take the next shot. So it was a month, right? For the Pfizer, I believe it's only 3 weeks. So But that's the reason I kept on saying, like, okay, well, it's 3 weeks, so maybe I think I need to take it now. Don't I need to take another one? Like, I was wondering when I was going to take it myself. That's the reason I kept saying every week, when am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? When is it going to be? So, so like, I would say a week and a half later, what happened with me is like I started getting like a GI thing, and so come to find out, I guess there's a virus going around right now. At least there was at my the senior resort that I work at. I don't live at. I work at, and so I'm thinking that's what it was. And so the whole time I'm thinking that maybe it was the COVID thing. It was just like weird coincidence. But like a lot of people are like getting diarrhea and throwing up because that's what happened this past week with a bunch of people. And I'm like, I had that like 2 weeks ago. And so this is the only thing I can think of that it could be it. That was really honestly the only thing that I had. And then I had my second shot a couple days ago, and it was within like maybe 10 minutes of me getting that shot, because I was just sitting there. And even like now, it's like I got the shot right here, but it mostly hurts like right here. It's weird. So like the needle went in into the back part. They didn't to the back deltoid, but then it's the front part of my deltoid is what is like what was hurting. And I'm like, it was significant. It was enough where the best way I describe it, because it's the only time I ever had it was when I got tackled once in football, and like I landed on my shoulder, and you just get like dead arm, where it just like, because it just contudes that muscle. You get such a contusion or bruise, whichever way you want to look at it, but it's such a deep one where like it just like everything you do, it just makes everything numb. Like it's just like, wow, damn, dude. Like I couldn't, like it's just like, almost to the point where like, when you have like a severe like when you like sleep on your arm weird and you try to move things and like tingles and sharp, that's what it felt like for me. And that was like significant. I was like, but I went and I sat in the gym. Not in the gym. I sat in the sauna for 30 minutes, and I did 2 of those. And like the next day, it was still noticeable, but it was very well controlled. The soreness wasn't that bad, unless I like slammed it up against a door or if it hit something, and then like it was sore then. Then today, like all it is, like it doesn't even hurt. It just feels like it feels like the muscle feels like something has happened there. Like there was like some sort of like impact, and like it's just slightly like you can like it's like it's like a little pulse pain, but that's the closest thing I have to any of it. But hold on real quick. All right, sorry guys. So like I thought I heard like the restarting of an Apple computer, that boom, and so I think it's like someone downstairs, and so I was just making sure that because I have a computer that's right over here off stage, and that's what's recording and monitoring all the levels on the microphones and stuff. So I thought that might have restarted or something. So I apologize. I greatly apologize. But like I said, like this is what I feel like, and I'm 3. Well, I got mine on what was it? It was Friday, I believe. So yeah, the 12th. So it's the 15th. I'm shooting this on the 15th, and so by the time you see this, it will be the 16th. So you'll see it tomorrow. So yeah, I'm knocking on wood. I'm just like I haven't experienced anything terrible. Like I didn't, but I'm not gonna lie to you. What I did was I just ate a pizza. I ate fatty food. I just said, fuck it, dude. I had been eating strict and right on point this entire time. Took the shot. I'm like, okay, dude, you did it. It's all up in the air now. You did everything you could do. You controlled all the stuff that you could control. So now what you need to do is you just need to relax and just have fun. So I just ate a pizza. I had a Coca-Cola. Got really high, and I got high, and I got high, and I just like that night I came home, went straight to sleep, took some melatonin, smoked some pot, went to sleep, and I just did that just so I could, if I did have any sickness, I would sleep right through it. But like, other people are like, yeah, they woke up and I'm like, I had a temperature. It was like from like 97 all the way to 101. And I'm like, yeah, like nothing. But the thing is, like, what I think happens with me, or what maybe I just have good genes, or what's going on is the fact that I do the sauna. And so my body is used to being up at 200 degrees like 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And so like because of that, I can just like maybe just a normal like thing. My body's just like, oh yeah, we can deal with this. This is nothing. And so it doesn't even register as anything. So that's what I would like to think. I would like to think that I'm a Superman in that sense. But maybe I'm just all those years, all these years of working out and doing cardio and swimming and yoga, doing all these different things and sauna have all just was all for this moment. Because I'd always keep telling myself like, John, there might be something that might happen, and if it happens, you're gonna be fucking ready. Like your body's gonna be tip top magoo, and nothing's gonna go like like if you go down, it's because it was just your time. It's not gonna go down because like, well, if he would have just ate, if he would have just ate 2 more celery sticks every day, he would have survived, and he would be here to tell you about it. So not me, not here, not now, not here. So I've been becoming kind of a what's the word, like a someone who's realizing the different tastes in tequilas. So last night I had like a gold, so it was like a little bit more. It was like in a barrel. They just has a little. It's they have silver and they have like the gold. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like that oakiness to it. But like this one, like this is like super sweet. Like this, Suzva, but it's like the cheapest one. But it has like a very sweet little taste to it, has a tang to it. So if you were to add just a lime or a lemon, or if you really want to get crazy, put a little bit of salt around it, it would actually work perfect. You could just drink it straight, put it on a rock, and then you're good to go. And the thing is, like, what's so really cool is like we have this down in the freezer. We have these little plastic ball thing. It's like a plastic container. It's like this, and it comes up, and then you put water in it, and it has this rubber top to it, and it makes these little balls, and they work perfectly, and they fit. They're like, oh, they're about that big, and boom. Like I was always wondering like how they had all these really nice ice cubes. And I'm like, oh, that's why, that's how. And I'm like, then I realized that I found the little thing, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna use that. So every time I get tequila or any kind of I don't know, it's weird. I was beer for the longest of time, for years, and then I'm like, you know what, I just want to sip on something. I don't want something super heavy. I just want to be able to drink a half glass and feel good, and then be able to do a little puff and feel great, or eat an edible and feel awesome. Because I feel like for me those are like the best when you crossfade the both of them. That's where it's at. So what else? Where can we go to here? So what was the one thing? There was like a couple things I really wanted to talk about tonight. Oh, did you hear about the Pope? Did you guys hear how like the Pope he can't have the blessings, or let me see here. What was the exact thing that he said? He said that the Pope Francis says priests cannot bless same-sex unions, dashing hopes for gay Catholics. So the thing is about this, and I've never understood it. I've never understood someone who cares so much about someone's sexuality. I don't even like hearing about when people like tell me like all this like gender reveal parties. I think those are stupid. I think that's stupid. I think me telling you about like my sex life, other than if it's a funny story. I think that other than if you're just like telling me like, bro, like I fucked this girl, I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, but if you have a funny story of like something happening, oh please do tell. And then I don't care if you're gay. I've never never once in my life I've been like, ooh, I don't like you because you're gay. No, because you know why? You know what my personal thought has always been? I'm like, well, if I'm like super into like not liking you because you're gay, doesn't that make me even gayer than you? Because like what you're trying to do is just like come. And you just happen to want to come with someone who has the same parts as you. Oh, big deal. Okay, that's cool. Like I want to I have my preferences too. I get if you have a very specific preference. That makes sense. And so for me, so when I see people who like protest, or like the Pope who's like, well, I can't have my priest agree in like say that like same-sex marriages or same-sex unions are okay. I can't do it. To me, that comes off so much gare because, people are just trying to come. Like, but what you're doing is like gathering with other people. You're making signs. You're telling like other people, hey, you can't bless like these two people who might be just absolutely amazing. Have good credit. Live in the right part of town. Both are doctors, and they're like, but the fact that they're the same, sex. That means that, no, can't do it. And it's just, it doesn't make, I can't condone this. This doesn't make any sense. Like, that's so, to me, that comes off so much gare because you're making a big deal about this and you're literally trying to stop someone from being who they want to be. But they're just trying to like do something like your whole thing, like you making these signs and making this whole thing takes so much more time than like, they're just doing an act that at the, that on average is like last 30 minutes, a 30-minute act. You're spending days, months, weeks talking about it. That's so much gare. That comes off so much more gare. Like, why do you, if you didn't care and you didn't like, you just wouldn't talk, you wouldn't do anything about it. Like, you're not there. You're not even in the room. If you were in the room, I could at least be like, okay, well, hey, can you guys just wait till Jim leaves and then you guys can just like fuck and, do what you need to do, like come on each other's face. Big deal. Okay, I can understand that. Jim leaves. You guys fuck. No big deal. But you're not even there. You're not even one of the parties. No one's even asking you. Hey, you want to come over and fuck us? Like, or you want to come over and have sex? No one. But yet you are saying, well, these two people because they have the same genitalia. They just can't do it. Sorry. And if we're in the same image of God, then God's gay too. Then like God's everything. And like I just don't get it. This comes off as just like, hey, and another big thing too, like, hey, you guys have been known to fuck kids. So you guys probably should shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Like, it's probably a bigger thing too. So, if I was known for any of that, like the last thing I would want to be doing is bringing any attention to myself or my party or my group of people that have been doing that kind of stupid shit. Like, so shut the fuck up. Wow. And another thing, while I'm super heated right now, can people stop taking pictures of their kids taking dumps and then posting it online? Nothing's weirder. You know what? Like what I do here, like sit in a podcasting room, sit in a room on the third floor of a mansion, talking to a microphone, looking to a camera, pretty weird. But not as fucking weird as you posting pictures of your kid taking a shit and being like, hey, look at my kid taking a shit. Aren't you proud of it? Like, I don't care. Because if I was doing it, you wouldn't care. So why are you putting this out on me? Like, what are you getting from this? What are you getting? How is this any way triggering any sort of like positive neurons in your brain and like dopamines? Like, how? It's so dumb. Jeez. Wow, John, you are really on something, aren't you, tonight? Okay, so anyway, but it's just because it comes down to like you're trying to control and trying to make people feel something in a way that you shouldn't give a fuck about. You shouldn't care about how someone comes, and you shouldn't want to post pictures of your kid taking a dump. Like, I don't care that he's learning how to become potty trained. I don't care. I do not care. No one cares because it's not our kid. That's one of those things. Like, I can understand birthday, 5th birthday. Everyone might care. I can understand, like, you might think like, hey, you know what? Share to the world. People would care. That makes sense. Hey, my kid just graduated from Harvard. Huh, that's pretty impressive. Wow, Jim, I can't believe you didn't birth, but you raised a child that went to Harvard, became a doctor. Cool, awesome. But not a kid taking a dump is nothing to share to us, to the world, to the herd. Because what you're doing is you're causing things like that. Things like that are what caused 9/11. So what you're doing is you're hurting the herd and you're possibly causing another 9/11. So stop. That's a very far stretch, but that is very true though. That's how I feel. And I feel strong about it too. unlike, hey, I feel like I need to make a rebuttal on one thing too, because I already made it. I feel like I already made it though on the Aaron and John show, but just because I talked about it and this is a solo thing. You can't tell I have a mustache still. I didn't realize the responsibilities and the pride that comes in with a mustache. No one has seen my mustache. No one can really tell that I have a mustache unless I point it out to you. But it's a very interesting style of facial hair. And I regress what I said last week about how stupid it is. It is still dumb. It's not stupid, but it's dumb still. It is a weird facial hair choice. But I just, hey, I started looking at other men that have it, men that do have it. And I'm like, it really does say something about as a man that you have a mustache. It really does. And I get that. Now, this mustache looks like a Frenchman's mustache, so it's nothing. But there's other mustaches out there, like freedom mustaches, for men who are fighting, in the army and stuff like that. Hey, get your mustache. But I don't even know what I'm talking about. But like, I don't know. I had someone say that they were offended. And clearly I could tell they were joking, but it's still like, you know what? Yeah, John, you should still say something about the mustache thing. What else do we have to? What else do I have? Wow, do you guys hear that? I had some dumb stuff. Now looking back on, do you guys watch the royal wedding? Not the royal wedding, but that Meghan and was it Prince Harry thing? It's always nice hearing I'm like, what makes you think, you're brown. You're a brown person. You're not like brown, like you're brown. You're in between myself and then someone else who's darker skinned. You're the middle, but you're still unquestionably brown. And I'm speaking as a brown person. What are you like? Why would you even bring or even like, dude? Yeah, what makes you think that they wouldn't be totally for you? Like, what makes you think they're just they're old white people who've been just fucking each other? What do you expect? What else do you expect from them? What else would you expect from them? I would be more shocked if they were more open about it. Really, I'm like, oh shit, I thought those kind of people were fucking racist. I didn't know that they were cool about that kind of stuff. So it was that's kind of interesting. That's awesome. That's good. That's good that they're more open and willing. I'm a little surprised. I think all of us would just be more surprised, but none of us are shocked that they're like, well, they would say they were asking how dark would Archie would be. But that's a reasonable question because even family, I date black women. And so even a question for me would be if I marry, I marry a black woman, we have a child. Yeah, my question too would be I wonder how dark the kid is. I'm because my thing was I would hope the kid would be darker because the kid would be more questionably brown. Because I don't look unquestionably brown. I look ambiguous. I look very ambiguous. So yeah, I can definitely see why that's a question that a family would ask. I would definitely expect a black family who had me as their brother-in-law or their son-in-law, and I got their daughter pregnant. I would definitely have them be yeah, I wonder how dark this kid's gonna be. I'm assuming the kid's probably gonna be lighter because your husband's a light-skinned brown guy, but whatever. I'd throw in that I'm brown. Because I said light skin. I'm like, John, you shouldn't say light skin, but I feel like that's the best way to describe it. I'm like, I don't have to say pale. Do I have to say pale? Do I? I think I might have to. Sadly, as much as it saddens me to say that, but it's John, it's you're brown, yeah. I'm like, but I wasn't even born in this country, so doesn't that automatically give me the opportunity to say light skinned? I would think so. Granted, do I go out and I just do I refer to myself as a light skinned person? No, I just say I'm Latin. I'm biracial. I really am biracial. So it's yeah, that's it. But can you hear that? That's awesome. Isn't that great? But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why you would even go into it thinking what makes you think that that Brits wouldn't be racist? And then the tabloids would call you a gorilla and a monkey. What makes you think they're not going to do this? Why would you bring more attention to yourself? But hey, to each calzone. So what's so funny is like, so a couple weeks ago, I know I told you how I was dating this girl, and I even brought her up a little bit earlier in this podcast. Well, what's so funny is that so like she was like a significant like YouTube like Instagram like YouTube person. She had like I think like roughly like I think 200,000 or no not 200,000. She had 50K because I had another friend that's like she has like 202,000 people following her. I'm like holy shit, she's just a fitness person. She does fitness and she has like a fitness company. It's really interesting. Good for her. But I was dating this girl and like she like when she was breaking up, and she was like I'm just so much out of your league, and I always think that when someone has to say that, they're really not out of your league. So, but I was just like laughing. I was just like started smiling. I'm like, okay, you're out of my league. That's awesome. That's cool. And she was like, I need a man that's gonna be strong and powerful, and that's like has more of a drive. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. Well, like, girl, you've never asked me once, like, as if, like, because she also she does film stuff too, and I'm like, you've never asked me once, like, what I do or like what are my dreams. Like, I'm like, and that's fine. Like, I'm not expecting you to. I really don't expect you to ask me about any of that stuff. Like, why would you care? But like, you've never watched one of my podcasts or anything. Oh, she only said my podcasts were dry, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, all right, awesome. The same girl. This is the same chick. But, yeah, so that's just been sitting in my brain like when we were like this last couple of weeks. And so like what I eventually did was about like it took about 3 bottles of tequila and 18 packs of Nicorette gum. I wrote a 12-song album and I recorded it. It was like with drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You say I'm not driven. I'm not. I'm like, look at me. Look what I just could do. I just did that like that. Granted, it took me 3 bottles of tequila and like 18 packs of Nicorette gum to do it, but I did get it done. Now, like what I have to tell you is like that's a fun little ride. It's a fun little ride. Put a little bit of coffee in that too. Wow. And the thing is like but what's so funny is like for me, I'm like, John, you should just do it. Just do it to see if you can do it. And I just fucking sat in a room, locked myself in this room. The only time I would come out would just go to my work, come back home, go to the gym, and then I would just spend, 4 or 5 hours just hammering the shit out. And yeah, and just bottles of tequila and Nicorette gum. And then I have these stupid ass songs that now I have to master. Because I'm like, well, fuck, I got all the way this far. I recorded everything. Now I need to put everything together and, just master it, make it sound decent, and Google a bunch of stuff and figure out how I can just make it sound better or add some more stuff to it. Maybe like I'm thinking like maybe I should do a little bit more piano and maybe add a little piano here and there. But this is what you do. This is what I do. Like when someone challenges me like that, it's like, why would you say this? I'm like, all you're gonna do is just anger me. All it does is it makes me really even more competitive than I already am. Because I'm always thinking like, John, you need to be making more stuff. Like I do five different shows in a week. And I do all this other random pictures and little side projects. Like this, like past week, I filmed for an hour and a half, some just like random footage, and then I uploaded it for a company. And they're like, yeah, well, what would we use? Like how many images or film stuff? Like we'll times it by like, I'll just tell you, it was $25 per image, video, pictures, stuff like that. So pictures was 10, and then images were 20, or the video was 25. So like you could have like a whole thing. So the longest I did 5-minute clips of things, and so when you use within those 5 minutes, like you can use like 30 seconds to the whole 5 minutes, and the whole thing costs you 25. I just make it straight like that. So, but you just make a bunch of different stuff, and companies will just like buy it from you. And I just do simple things. I do random things like that. And I don't talk about them because there's no need to talk about it because it's just fucking work. It's just work. It's boring. To me, it doesn't sound like something I don't want to talk about it. So why would I want to like talk about, like, why would you want to hear about it? I don't know. Maybe you guys do want to hear about that. I don't know how many fucking people listen to this. Anyway, I have about like 35 seconds left in this podcast. I need to break everything down. Maybe do a little bit of editing before everyone else gets here to do the other podcast. So, cool, babies. So check that out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media at John D. Klauser. Thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you want to. A thumbs up is really much cooler. Be safe. Go ahead and get the vaccination. I'm doing all right. I'll keep you guys updated. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Oh, I can't believe I did another. I can't believe I've done 55 of these. What is this? Episode 55? Yeah, I've done 55 of these. Oh my God. How can I? That's insane. Well, anyway, I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right. Bye.